From the top few floors of the hotel, there will be a violent tremor every once in a while. The huge movement greatly attracted the zombies in the nearly 10 floors below. In a closed guest room on the 31st floor of the corridor. Here again, getting closer and closer to us. Xiao, what do we do now, what do we do? You, I don't want to be eaten by zombies, I don't want to be a zombie. I don't know either. On the clean double bed, the two girls wrapped their bodies in thick quilts. Except for their heads exposed, their bodies were very tightly wrapped. They are not very old, they are about 19 or 20 years old. They squatted on the head of the bed with a trance and pale faces, and the little hands that clung to the quilt kept trembling. Whenever there is a tremor outside the door, their hearts will jump with it, as if they might jump out at any time. One of them even burst into tears, eyes full of fear and despair. You, why is this, why? Obviously good, Mom and Dad, come and save me, I don't want to die. The girl was crying heartbroken, and her face was helpless when I saw the actress. The girl named Xiao did not comfort her companion. Although she did not cry, the fear and anxiety in her eyes showed that she was no less afraid than her companions. She was already scared. Now she only prayed that the zombies who made a huge noise outside would not find their room. Xiao's full name is Song Xiao, and the girl next to her is Bai Yue, a foreigner. They are all anchors. Originally, they came to Minghai City to visit a science and technology exhibition and do a live broadcast by the way, but they did not expect that the science and technology exhibition was not live broadcast, but it ushered in the end of the world. They are also considered lucky people. Not only did they not become zombies, but because they just arrived in Minghai City and did not go out after staying in the hotel today, they were not attacked by zombies. But during the day they were on the balcony in the room but saw everything happening outside in their eyes. Eschatology. This is a world that is both strange and familiar to them. Films, movies, and novels all have works of this kind of world, but they can't even dream that the end of the world will really come to reality. They used to be famous for their talents and beauty, fame, and fortune. Only a few words can play between applause and make countless fans crazy for them, but when the end of the world comes, they find that they have before. Everything is so ridiculous. What name and profit are all gone, facing the raging zombies outside, without the strength, they can only hide in the bed and shiver like they are now. They are scared and helpless, and every time they hear the thrilling loud noise in their ears, they will be frightened to death. Wei Xiao didn't know how many survivors hiding in the hotel were disturbed by his actions. His purpose is simple: in the shortest possible time, sweep the top few floors of the hotel, and collect enough food to spend every day in the hotel. Tonight he will set the goal above 30 floors. Collecting all the way, Wei Xiao has collected enough living supplies for him to live alone for 10.5 months. In addition, in the guest room he had searched, he found a set of fitting outfits and a weapon that he needed most to deal with zombies: Modeo. The Mo sword is similar to the katana used by the female country V, but compared to the katana, the Mo sword has a longer body and no slope, the blade is slightly wider by a few centimeters, and the handle is longer. For now, the Modeo Wei Xiao obtained is definitely the supreme artifact for slashing zombies. With a weight of more than 10 kilograms and a blade length of nearly 2 meters, with Wei Xiao's strength, it can be said that within the range of Modeo's attack, 100 zombies can hardly get close. Getting closer and closer to the room where Bai Yue and the others were, Wei Xiao broke open the door of the room directly opposite them, placed the big bag of food in the room from the inside, and then moved his eyes to the door of the room where Bai Yue and the others were. After dozens of rooms came down, Wei Xiao didn't find the figure of a living person. Instead, he turned into a zombie tenant in the room. He wiped out 3 or 2. He didn't think there were people in the room in front of him, so he was not polite and kicked directly on the door. Boom! What? A whole door flew out towards the room under Wei Xiao's feet, and at the same time, the 2 girls who were frightened inside also let out thrilling screams. Are there living people? Wei Xiao frowned outside the door. This was the first time he encountered a living person after searching several floors. Stepped into it. At first glance, I didn't see a living person, but on the double bed in the room, the arched bed was trembling. You, don't eat me, don't eat me. Hearing a small sound in his ear, the corner of Wei Xiao's mouth twitched. The people in the feelings regard him as a zombie. It's really funny. If zombies had just begun in the last days to have his destructive power, how would the surviving humans survive in the future? Don't read it, there are no zombies, I am alive just like you. Everyone was scared to death by himself, and Wei Xiao didn't have such a bad taste to continue to scare people. After speaking, Wei Xiao ignored the two women on the bed and directly searched the room. Hearing Wei Xiao's sound, the two girls hiding in the bed looked at each other in shock. Yes, is it a human? The pale Song Xiao exclaimed in a low voice. Bai Yawei, with tears in her eyes, stopped talking, her eyes filled with disbelief. Is it really a human? Could he lie to us? Wei Xiao would probably be dumbfounded if he heard Bai Yawei. Cheat? Do you need? Just separated by a layer of quilt, if you are really a zombie, you can hide two women in the quilt, and you can even eat people with the quilt, do you believe it? Soon, except for the double bed in front of him, Wei Xiao searched the room all over. A lot of food was found. Especially snacks, good guys, enough to fit a password box. Are you not coming out yet? Wei Xiao called out angrily and funny when he saw Bai Yawei and the others still hiding in the quilt. At this time, the sealed quilt opened a hole, and from the inside, two small heads came out one after another. Bai Yawei and Song Xiao both had anxiety and fear in their eyes. They looked around the room, and finally when they looked at Wei Xiao who was staring at them with a smile, their foreheads couldn't help but shrink into the bed. Wei Xiao was trying to say something, but when he saw the faces of Bai Yawei and the others, his faces couldn't help but feel a little surprised. Bai Yawei, Song Xiao. The two girls who were originally afraid of Wei Xiao couldn't help but change their eyes when they heard him call out their names. Do you know us? Bai Yawei asked weakly, wiping her tears. There was still a glimmer of expectation in the worried eyes. Wei Xiao was surprised. I didn't expect to meet them in this situation. Before the end of the world, Wei Xiao liked to watch live broadcasts, especially live broadcasts of beautiful women. Bai Yawei and Song Xiao happened to be two of his favorite female anchors. Although Wei Xiao didn't give them any valuable gifts, it did not prevent him from liking the two girls. Especially Bai Yawei, 90% of the reason why she likes her is because of her appearance. I don't know how many men regard Bai Yawei as a love object, and Wei Xiao is no exception. A beauty anchor with a height of 169, Lilian, Tong Yanzhu, who gathers all the advantages of angels and demons, can be the first beauty anchor on all live broadcast platforms when the beauty is turned off. The attraction to Wei Xiao can be seen. Spotlight. If the highest score to describe a woman's ultimate figure and beauty is 100 points, Bai Yawei can score 99 points in Wei Xiao's mind. The point she didn't give was not because Bai Yawei's face was not good enough, but because she hadn't achieved the point where everyone was loved by all ages. As for Song Xiao, although she is not as good as Bai Yawei in terms of appearance, she is also a beauty who can beat 90 points. Wei Xiao likes her as her live broadcast style. A multi-talented woman, with her own talent and quiet personality, she is loved by everyone, and she has the demeanor of everyone. Of course I know, I'm still a fan of yours, but I'm not a fan. When I heard the word fan, the expression of the second girl changed obviously. What you are saying is true. Bai Yawei, who was more carefree, seemed a little excited, and even looked at Wei Xiao with a touch of kindness in her eyes. It seems that meeting her fans at this desperate moment can make her forget her fear. Wei Xiao nodded. You should get up first. I didn't know there were people in this room before, and the door was broken by me. Obviously, people can no longer live here. I will take you to other rooms. Okay, let's go with you. Bai Yue agreed to Wei Xiao without even thinking about it. She was about to get up, but Song Xiaohu next to her seemed to hold her. Bai Yue gave her a puzzled look. Song Xiaohu didn't say anything, only the look in Wei Xiao's eyes was wary. You won't hurt us, will you? Song Xiaohu asked, saying this to Wei Xiao. Bai Yue's expression was taken aback, her face quickly changed again and again. She was so desperate before that she suddenly met a living person who claimed to be a fan of her, so she put down her precautions, so she agreed to Wei Xiao after thinking about it. But now that Song Xiaohu said, she was not a social white, and she looked at Wei Xiao again with alertness. She almost forgot that this was the end of the world, and Wei Xiao was still a man. She has also seen her in apocalyptic novels, and she knows how the men treat women, especially beautiful girls like them. Wei Xiao didn't expect Song Xiaohu to remain vigilant in this situation. He was surprised, but also looked up at Song Xiaohu a bit. Wei Xiao smiled calmly, "What kind of injury do you mean?" Song Xiaohu's heart trembled. "Sure enough, what the book says is true. I won't let you succeed." Song Xiaohu tightened the quilt tightly and looked at Wei Xiao fearfully. Bai Yue is also close to Song Xiaohu, it seems that once Wei Xiao uses them strongly, they will be as desperate as Wei Xiao. Wei Xiao thought it was funny. "It doesn't matter if you don't leave. I won't move the food in this room and leave it to you. In addition, you don't have to worry that I will hurt you. Although you are also beautiful, I am very picky now. Bai Yue is qualified to let you I know how strong it is, so forget it. There are still a few rooms on this floor that I haven't searched. Before I leave, you can think about it." Regardless of what the second daughter thinks of herself now, Wei Xiao finished speaking and left the room directly. In the last days, there is no shortage of beautiful women. With Wei Xiao's current ability, what kind of beauty can't be found? The second girl was still in shock. At this time, with a loud noise coming from outside, the second girl's heart beat quickly again. "Xiaohu, me, what shall we do now? He seems to be interested in me." Bai Yue asked in fear. Song Xiaohu didn't know how to comfort Bai Yue. Her heart is also very flustered now. Just as Wei Xiao said, continue to stay here, once zombies come over, you can imagine how they will end up. They have no way of knowing the fighting power of the zombies, but they have seen the speed of the zombies during the day. With the power of their two weak women, facing the attack of the zombies, even if they can deal with one or two, it is absolutely impossible to be intact. When they want to be injured, it means corpse change. Song Xiaohu shuddered at the thought of the festering zombies outside. I don't know." The two girls were silent, and what they had in their hearts was the confusion about the future and the fear of the end times. Outside, Wei Xiao searched for the substance very fast, 5 or 6 rooms, only the last one was left in 10 minutes. "What?" Suddenly, a scream came from Bai Yue's room. Wei Xiao, who had just collected the last room, threw down the supplies in his hand, and rushed towards the room where Bai Yue and the others were in a stride. You, don't eat me, save me. Who will save me? Go away, go away." In the room, 2 zombies ran into the room and attacked Bai Yue and the others. Fortunately, they hid in the bed and protected themselves strictly. The zombies obviously don't have much wisdom. They only know how to tear the quilt on the 2 women's body, tear the big quilt apart, and make the room full of cotton wool. Wei Xiao just came in to see this scene. Without hesitation, he rushed up and grabbed a zombie's neck with one hand from behind and pulled them away from the bed, and then threw the 2 zombies toward the balcony by the side of the room with both hands. With 2 clams, 2 zombies smashed the window outside the balcony and fell downstairs. The 2 girls in the bed were still yelling, and Wei Xiao was a little unhappy. What is the ghost cry? The zombies have been dealt with. The second girl stopped struggling, and showed her small heads one after another. The zombies were indeed gone, only Wei Xiao was in the room. You take me away. I don't want to stay here, I don't want to become a zombie, oh. The extremely emotional Bai Yawei left the bed for the first time and ran to Wei Xiao's side and clutched his arm tightly, with pleading in her tearful eyes. Bai Yawei was left behind at this moment of fear that Wei Xiao would hurt her or that Wei Xiao would be disadvantageous to her. Before being attacked by zombies, she regretted not leaving with Wei Xiao the first time. Compared with becoming a zombie or being eaten by zombies, nothing else is important to Bai Yawei now. What about you? Wei Xiao looked at Song Xiaoyu. There is no covetous color in his eyes, just like asking a passerby casually. Song Xiaoyu hesitated. She is afraid of zombies and death, but she is even more afraid of becoming a commodity for everyone to play with. If she needs to betray her to live, she would rather die. Seeing that Song Xiaoyu did not respond, Wei Xiao was not the one who had to ask her. Turned around. Want to leave? Take your things and follow me. Bai Yawei completely ignored the begging color in Song Xiaoyu's eyes, nodding her head repeatedly, then let go of the small hand that grabbed Wei Xiao's arm, and began to pack her own things. In a short while, Bai Yawei packed her belongings in a whole password box. Xiaoyu, you go with us. Perhaps because she felt guilty about leaving her good girlfriend in such a difficult environment, Bai Yawei called out. Song Xiaoyu had difficulty making a choice, and the helplessness and sorrow in her eyes were obvious. Go. Wei Xiao seemed very ruthless. He greeted, turned, and walked outside the door. Bai Yawei is full of anxiety. Xiao Yu. Outside the door. Song Xiaoyu finally left with Wei Xiao and the others. I don't know what Bai Yawei said to her in the end. Although Song Xiaoyu was still a little resistant, she did not have the courage to stay alone in this unprotected room. On the corridor. Put your suitcases at the top of the stairs, and I have to clear a floor of the corridor. Shall we not go to a safe room now? Bai Yawei asked. Wei Xiao's expression was extremely serious. You have to remember that I let you follow me, not let you control my decision. You just need to be obedient, understand? Wei Xiao is their only support now, and Bai Yawei and others dare not have any opinions on Wei Xiao's words. Following Wei Xiao, when they came to the top of the stairs, the second woman put her luggage on the top of the stairs according to his instructions. Follow me, remember not to be too far away from me. Wei Xiao said, walking down the stairs with the modeo over 2 meters in his hand. Bai Yawei and the others followed closely. There are no zombies in the corridor on the 30th floor. Compared with the frightened two daughters, Wei Xiao seemed very indifferent. Boom! Facing a door, Wei Xiao stepped down and violently demolished it. Seeing this scene, the two women who followed him couldn't help covering their mouths with their little hands, and their eyes were full of shock. Wei Xiao's strength was obviously beyond their imagination. Looking at Wei Xiao's back again, in addition to fear, there is more admiration in the eyes of the two girls. When you enter the house, you don't need to think about other things, but put away toiletries, food, and drinking water. Having seen Wei Xiao's strength, the two daughters even had no opinion on what he said. The three of them worked quickly, and within 2 minutes, a room was searched. The same goes for the other rooms that follow. 10 minutes later, the three of them returned upstairs with large bags and small bags on them. 12 o'clock in the evening. The three of them finally gathered the materials from the 37th to the 37th floors into one room. The house was filled with big bags. Bai Yawei and Song Xiao were already out of breath. If it weren't for Wei Xiao to be with them, they would both want to lie motionless in bed. Wei Xiao ignored them. Running upstairs and downstairs, there was also the experience of fighting with zombies in the middle. He was already covered in stinky sweat and went to the bathroom to take a bath by himself. Yawei, do we really want to be with him in the future? Song Xiao asked Bai Yue softly while Wei Xiao was away. Because she was too tired, Bai Yue's face was pink. There was a fragrant sweat on his forehead, and he hesitated for a while and said, "We can at least live with him. You have seen his greatness. With him, we will at least not be afraid of zombies in the future." "Yes, but if he asks us to accompany him, would you also be willing?" Bai Yue's pink face blushed. She understood what Song Xiao meant. And Wei Xiao also said before that he has a lot of ideas about himself. With her head down, Bai Yue said weakly, I don't know." The two fell silent directly. For a long time, Wei Xiao walked out of the bathroom wrapped in a towel. Bai Yue and the others sat up in shock, their gazes at Wei Xiao were filled with anxiety. "After a busy day, you should also take a hot bath. In these last days, no one knows if you can survive tomorrow. If you can enjoy one day, just one day." After speaking, he ignored the two women's vigilant eyes. Wei Xiao take out 2 barrels and 2 bottles of mineral water from a packaging bag and walk towards the place where the electric kettle is located. The two women looked at each other. "You or me first?" Bai Yue asked. "Two people together. I don't know when the power supply and water supply will be gone. What are you doing now?" Before Song Xiao said, Wei Xiao made the decision directly for them. Late at night, the 3 people who had been busy for a day took a bath, and fell asleep after eating. Nothing happened this night. The next day arrived, Wei Xiao got up early. After washing and eating 2 buckets of instant noodles, Wei Xiao walked to the balcony window and looked outside. After yesterday's catastrophe, the streets of the city are now silent. The whole city is shrouded in haze, and there are countless zombies walking on the streets, and the prosperity of the past has become so depressed and cold. There are zombies gathering in the distance from time to time, and that should be caused by survivors being discovered and chased by zombies. Sympathize with the survivors who are about to be eaten or become one of the zombies. The end of the world has just begun, and now most people don't have to worry about food and water. As long as there is a safe shelter, it is fine to persist for a few days, but not necessarily afterwards. Wei Xiao is still considering whether the disaster is local or global. If it is the former, then he needs to think twice before acting in the future, but if it is the latter. Of course, this does not mean that Wei Xiao will do whatever he wants with his own ability, but the nature of the two will determine his future plans. "I don't want to, whether it is global or not, I believe it will not take long to know. Right now, I should adapt to the strength of the body as soon as possible." Wei Xiao felt that after the battle last night, his strength has increased again. The enhancement is not large, but if the control is not good, this power is enough to cause unnecessary damage. Without disturbing the 2 people who were still sleeping, Wei Xiao picked up the mo knife in the scabbard and left the room directly. Yesterday, in order to collect supplies, Wei Xiao cleared from the 37th floor to the 30th floor. Based on the movement he caused last night, if there are zombies in the corridor above the 20th floor, it is estimated that they have been attracted to kill them. Today he does not intend to continue to search for supplies. He is going to use zombies to familiarize himself with his power. Starting from the 30th floor, Wei Xiao carried Mo Dao and walked down layer by layer. He didn't hold much hope in the front, and dealt with a few of them sporadically. His real gaze was below the 20th floor. Don't forget that on the day of the apocalyptic outbreak, Wei Xiao attracted thousands of zombies from outside into the hotel. Dealing with so many zombies with bare hands, even if Wei Xiao is strong and invincible, he still does not have enough energy. Fortunately, he has a strange knife in his hand, which has become Wei Xiao's biggest killer against zombies. Wow! Did not let Wei Xiao down. When his figure appeared at the stairway below 20 floors, the zombies on the corridor suddenly increased. Found the figure of a living person, originally walking in the corridor, the slow and lifeless zombies suddenly became irritable like a chicken blood. More than a dozen zombies pounced on him at the same time, and at the same time, the zombies on the floor below also followed suit. Wei Zioxi smiled, and pulled out the mo knife in his hand. A cold light flashed and swept across the knife. The nearly 2-meter-long blade cut across the front 5 zombies, and 5 heads flew out on the spot. The cleanup begins. Every time Mo Dao swung from Wei Xiao's hand, the sharp blade could not resist wherever it went. The current Wei Xiao is a fierce tiger rushing into the flock, cutting a piece with a knife and kicking a flock. Especially when it came up from downstairs, the zombies in the front were kicked out by Wei Xiao, followed by a large fall. The zombies in the corridor were cleaned up in a short while, and the figure walked downstairs. Wherever he went, the corpses piled up. The roar of the zombies became more and more crazier, and the zombies inside and outside the hotel were attracted, and a steady stream of zombies gathered towards Wei Xiao's location. At this moment, the survivors hiding in various houses outside the hotel noticed the changes of the zombies on the street. Through the doors and windows, they watched the group of zombies constantly pouring toward the hotel. While they were frightened, they secretly sympathized with someone who was about to end. Guy. In addition, the survivors in the hotel are not limited to the 3 of Wei Xiao. Those survivors hiding in the guest rooms heard the thunderous roar of zombies in the hotel, and were afraid. They had already greeted the 18th generation of Wei Xiao's ancestors in their hearts. The zombies in the hotel were originally the fewest. Yesterday I didn't know which it attracted a group, but today it is like this again. The survivors who had been panicked by hiding in the room, now heard more zombies roar than yesterday, and wanted to rush out to tear Wei Xiao's heart. Damn bastard, why isn't he going to die? Stupid idiot, is he attracting so many zombies to kill us all? Now you have to be more careful. Not only can you not make a noise at night, you must be careful even with the lighting. It is impossible for Wei Xiao to know the thoughts of these survivors. In the face of more and more zombies, he occupies a favorable position and kills enough and joyfully. There is no need to deliberately control his own power, do whatever he wants, and the wholehearted battle makes him enthusiastic and hearty. The fighting lasted from the morning until about 12 noon. The number of zombies wiped out by Wei Xiao has exceeded 1,000. The zombies inside and outside the hotel can't be killed all at once. The zombies are not exhausted, but Wei Xiao, who has been fighting continuously, is not. Seeing that the stairs in front of him were almost blocked by zombies, Wei Xiao, sweating profusely, felt that his hands and feet were a little numb. There were also zombies that couldn't see their tails rushing up, and Wei Xiao, who did not intend to continue fighting, wiped the sweat from his face, ignoring those zombies who had to climb over the corpses of his companions to get close to him, and turned and walked upstairs. Back to the 37th floor. Bai Yahweh and the others in the room have already woke up. Open the door. In the room, Bai Yahweh and the others woke up without seeing Wei Xiao's figure. At first they were a little flustered and at a loss, thinking that Wei Xiao had abandoned them. Just as they were confused about the way forward, Wei Xiao's voice sounded outside the door. It's great Xiaohu, it's him, he didn't leave us behind. The overjoyed Bai Yahweh quickly stood up and opened the door to Wei Xiao. You come back, you. Bai Yahweh was about to say something after opening the door, but after seeing Wei Xiao's appearance, she was completely speechless behind the door. Wei Xiao looks really bad now. Standing on his body was the sap splashed from the death of zombies, as well as blood stains from the wounds of Wei Xiao's previous battle. The body was so full of flowers, like a beggar crawling out of a garbage dump. Wei Xiao didn't explain anything to her, and pulled her away into the room. Song Xiaohu also saw Wei Xiao's appearance at this time, covering her small mouth, and was so shocked that she could not speak. Make me 2 buckets of instant noodles. I'll eat them later. Wei Xiao calmly said to Song Xiaohu, and then walked straight to the bathroom. The 2 women outside were dumbfounded and their eyes were in a trance. Bai Yahweh and Song Xiaohu looked at each other. He won't become a zombie. Almost in unison, the panic in their eyes became more obvious. Looking at the bathroom where Wei Xiao was, the 2 women hesitated. What do we do now? It is said in movie novels that once people are scratched or bitten by zombies, they will turn into zombies. Should we leave now? Bai Yue asked. Song Xiao hesitated. Where can we go after we leave? Yes. There are zombies everywhere outside, even inside the hotel. Where can they go if they leave this room? Bai Yue didn't know what to say. Are we destined to be eaten by zombies? Thinking of this, Bai Yue's delicate body shuddered. You were the closest to him just now, did you see him injured? Song Xiao asked. Bai Yue shook her head in a panic. I don't know. He is like that, I don't dare to look at him, where can I find any wounds? Unable to get an exact answer, Song Xiao's eyes were full of crisis. After gritting his teeth, Song Xiao said, let's not guess wildly, so, for a while, we. Bai Yue said something in Bai Yue's ear, and Bai Yue nodded after hesitating for a moment. Soon after taking a shower, Wei Xiao came out of the bathroom. As he was wiping his head with a towel, he saw Bai Yue and the others' actions, and his steps stagnated. What are you doing? Wei Xiao asked. At this time, Song Xiao and Bai Yue both kept a long distance from Wei Xiao. They stood on the edge of the balcony with their backs against the window. Holding Wei Xiao's mo knife in her hand, Bai Yue, who barely lifted the blade with both hands, aimed directly at Wei Xiao's figure. Are you bitten by a zombie? Bai Yue asked without confidence. Seeing her holding Mo Dao's shaky body, Wei Xiao smiled. Not to mention, Bai Yue, who held Mo Dao in both hands, gave Wei Xiao the feeling of a Sailor Moon at this time. When Bai Yue did the live broadcast, in addition to her attractive appearance, what attracted more attention was her reality show, which is Cospally. She is now wearing a croissant braid, a sky blue jumpsuit and miniskirt, her straight legs are wrapped in white stockings, and her sword is in front, fighting against those two-dimensional Sailor Moon. Looking at the two women's wary eyes, Wei Xiao smiled funny. Slowly approached them. You, don't come over. We'll jump from here when you come back. Song Xiao said, and opened the window on the balcony, as if Wei Xiao would really jump off one step forward. Wei Xiao didn't take her words seriously. Go straight to the front of Bai Yue who is holding the knife. You, don't come here. Bai Yue cried anxiously. Seeing that the mo knife in her hand was about to fall because of the weight, Wei Xiao directly reached out and grabbed the blade, and slammed it back. What? With an exclamation, the mo knife in Bai Yue's hand dropped out and turned into a cold light to stab at the wall behind Wei Xiao, and the blade plunged halfway into the wall. Bai Yue fell into Wei Xiao's arms because of inertia. Although the two were separated by two levels of obstacles, Wei Xiao still clearly felt the softness of the woman. You can't hold the knife, why are you threatening me? The man's strong breath rushed towards him, and the teary Bai Yue's small face turned red. He raised his head nervously, and Chu Chu's tearful eyes stared at Wei Xiao nervously. Very tempting. Unable to hold back, Wei Xiao lowered his head and sealed Bai Yue's soft lips in front of Song Xiao. Bai Yue freezes on the spot, completely losing her autonomy. The goddess who had never known how many people coveted and couldn't help but was bullied by herself, Wei Xiao, who sighed in her heart, let go of Bai Yue after she was almost unable to breathe. Bai Yue's mouth is fragrant and her complexion is crimson. Unable to resist Wei Xiao, she didn't know how to face Wei Xiao, so she buried her head directly, and no one dared to look at her. With his arms around Bai Yue's soft body, Wei Xiao said to Song Xiao, have you soaked your noodles? The absolute suppression left Song Xiao and the others speechless. Song Xiao blankly pointed to the counter not far away. Wei Xiaoxi smiled. When threatening me in the future, think about whether you have this determination and courage. With a word, Wei Xiao, who released Bai Yue, turned and went to eat instant noodles. An episode just passed. With this experience, the two well-behaved people did not dare to make small actions in front of Wei Xiao. Fortunately, their worries did not happen. Until the evening, Wei Xiao did not become the more feared zombie. Into the night. Compared with the daytime, the activities of zombies are more frequent at this time. The summer sun makes zombies annoying, and the dark night becomes their main moment of foraging. Inside the room, Bai Yawei and Song Xiao are both watching TV. There is no news, no ad hoc broadcasts, and all they find are movies and TV works uploaded in the past on the internet. Compared to other survivors, they are undoubtedly lucky. Don't worry about your own life safety, nor worry about food, lying on the bed, holding the mask, shaking a pair of white and tender long legs. Life is so uneasy. Wei Xiao on the side wiped Mo Dao. He has seen the power of Mo Dao today. With his strength, coupled with the sharpness of the Mo Dao, cutting and killing zombies is like cutting vegetables, not too simple. But there are disadvantages. That is, the Mo Dao is too long. It is good to face a small number of zombies in an open place, but once you encounter a large number of zombies in a small space, the power of the Mo Dao will be greatly reduced. It seems that we need to prepare a melee weapon. It would be great if we can get some guns. Wei Xiao thought. Guns are not easy to get in Longxia Kingdom. Except for local related departments, almost don't even think about other fields. Find an opportunity to go to the armed police brigade. After not much thought, Wei Xiao put down Mo Dao and looked at Bai Yawei and the others. Whose cell phone is still with you? The two watching the movie were a little at a loss. Brother Xiao, what do you want a mobile phone for? Bai Yawei asked. Go online. Can the mobile phone still be used to access the internet now? The two girls were a little surprised. The last days just broke out, and many communication networks are still maintained. I don't know in the future, but now, it should be possible. Wei Xiao is not sure about his guess, but he will not lose a piece of meat if he tries everything. Give you. Song Xiao turned on her mobile phone and handed it to Wei Xiao. After receiving the mobile phone, Wei Xiao went straight to major online forums. As Wei Xiao guessed, the network was not paralyzed. Not only did the online forums still run, but there were also many survivors' speeches. TMD, the end of the world has really come. Once this scene was what I dreamed of, but when it really came, I realized how the end of the world is. Who will save me? I'm at number 2022, Building 2, Beguo Community, Tianyang City, Yun Province Fang. As long as someone comes to save me, I will obey him in the future. Ha ha ha, it's a godsend opportunity. Guys, brother, I was a poor DS before the end of the world, but now, the goddess of the past begged me to sleep with her. It's so cool. Now even if I let me die, I'm worth it. Damn it, why didn't our army launch rescue? Are they all dead? Don't think about the people upstairs. It's the end of the world. I'm afraid that the army will be overwhelmed. I'm still learning from the brother upstairs and enjoy the blessings as soon as possible. Ha ha ha, I have 3 school bachelors next to me now, let alone, I want carpe diem. There is no humanity upstairs, I'll be the one. Why is there no crystal nucleus in the dead body? Isn't there a chance for superpowers in all the end times? Is my way wrong? A fellow in the same way. I also tried it. A dozen zombies have no crystal nuclei. This is not the end of the world I want. I am a staff member of the Dragon Soul Survivor Base in Longxi, Black Province. We have established a survivor base that can withstand the army of 1,000,000 zombies. There is plenty of food and drinking water in the base, and there are also a team of 10,000 security guards. Welcome all survivors join. This is a brand new era, and the king and hegemony are here. There are various messages on the internet, negative, positive, and broken, but these remarks all show that the occurrence of disasters is not local, but is national and global. A truly new era. People with ability or strength have begun to plan to build their own territory in the last days, but more people have begun to lose their humanity in the last 2 days and continue to harm other survivors. The last days are dark and disorderly. Compared with the laws of survival before the end of the world, after the end of the world, the competition for survival will become more cold-blooded and cruel. Wei Xiao went online just to determine the scope of the disaster. Now that he has confirmed it, he doesn't pay attention anymore. Returning the phone to Song Xiao, Wei Xiao walked to the balcony alone. The last days are destined to expose the darkest side of human nature. Now there is no order, and the real strong is respected. With the arrival of a great era, what role will Wei Xiao play in this era? Establish your own base area, gather a large number of subordinates, and do whatever you want in the last days? Or is it to work for a powerful force to help them dominate in the last days? With his strength, Wei Xiao has no doubt that no matter which path he chooses, he will be able to go smoothly in the last days, especially if he knows that there are no other survivors with such supernatural powers. His existence, it was simply an apocalyptic loophole, giving him the capital to stand on top of the world. But are these all what he wants? Before the end of the world, Wei Xiao was a working class working at the bottom of society, and it was still extremely unstable. Once his idea was very simple, to earn money, to marry a fairly beautiful daughter-in-law and spend his life peacefully. Although he hasn't achieved it, his goal is very clear. As for now, money? Don't be kidding, the previous billions of trillions of fortunes are not worth a piece of bread now. Daughter-in-law? That's even more ridiculous. As long as Wei Xiao is willing, there is a peerless beauty who is at the pinnacle of beauties around him, who can be forced into the house at any time. The goals before the end of the world seem to have been completed. What else can I pursue in the future? Wei Xiao was a little confused. Suddenly, he lit a cigarette and smoked silently. In the room, Bai Yue and Song Xiao didn't know what they were thinking of, with excitement on their faces. They took out their mobile phones to dial numbers one after another. As the numbers were dialed, the excitement on their faces gradually became pale, scared, and hopeless. Without a phone call, the two of them started to cry suddenly. This scene happened to be seen by Wei Xiao. The hand holding the cigarette to his mouth couldn't help but stop. People are not grass and trees, who can be ruthless, a person who has his own persistence. I believe that seeing this scene will be soft-hearted. Perhaps I have found a way for the future. Under the premise that my own interests are not threatened, let more people who desire the light live. Throwing away the cigarette in his hand, Wei Xiao came to the second woman. Feeling the presence of Wei Xiao's figure, the two girls stopped crying, and Chu Chu looked at him with confusion. Why, didn't you contact your family? I don't know why Wei Xiao asked so, both of them nodded. Bai Yue choked and said, I called my parents, but they didn't answer it. They might. Bai Yue couldn't say the next thing, and she didn't dare to say it. Wei Xiao didn't feel much. Being an orphan since he was a child, he couldn't realize the kind of affection with his parents, at best he could only envy him. With a slight smile, Wei Xiao said, Follow me in the future, as long as you are obedient, I will take you to live. Go to sleep. Someone will be busy tomorrow. After speaking, Wei Xiao lay on the bed belonging to him and closed his eyes. Contact with Wei Xiao for a day or two, the two women's cognition of him still remained domineering and cold. The sudden tenderness surprised them a bit. Looking at Wei Xiao, who closed his eyes in a daze, after a long time, the second daughter discovered that maybe it's not a bad thing to follow this person. Wei Xiao didn't know when he woke up, it was still dark. Feeling the softness around him, Wei Xiao looked at the people around him in surprise. I didn't mean to wake you up. Facing Wei Xiao's questioning gaze, Bai Yue didn't dare to look at him, burying her forehead on the pillow, and she did not speak well. Do you know what it means to sleep next to me? When Bai Yue approached Wei Xiao, her body trembled violently, and her body temperature increased a lot without noticing it. After finally plucking up some courage, Bai Yue looked up at Wei Xiao's still handsome face. Didn't you say you fell in love with me? I want to follow you, don't leave me, okay? Wei Xiao was slightly taken aback. Then he smiled relievedly. If he guessed correctly, Bai Yue would take the initiative to come to him, somewhat affected by the previous calls. She thinks she is helpless in this world. At this time, no matter where she stays, she will feel lonely and insecure. She needs a sense of security and more protection. Undoubtedly, Wei Xiao, who had a good impression of her, became the first candidate and the most powerful choice to protect her. Some people may think that Bai Yue has no shame, but this is the end of the world. If a person, especially a woman who is incapable but has an overwhelming beauty, cannot adapt to this era in advance, and brings her vision of looking at problems before the end of the world to this era, then even if she lives in the future, her life will be extremely difficult. Despair. Be good from now on. He did not refuse, nor gave Bai Yue a positive answer. Wei Xiao reached out and hugged her into his arms. Yeah, I will be behaved in the future. Although Wei Xiao's answer was very concise, Bai Yue knew that she was now Wei Xiao's person. Go to sleep. Don't you want it? It's the first time for me. Bai Yue's voice was almost inaudible, but Wei Xiao still heard it. There are surprises and surprises. According to the cognition of most people before the end of the world, there is a probability that there are two circles of girls, unless you are not good enough. One is the entertainment circle, which is the most chaotic, and the other is the live broadcast circle. It is a miracle that a top female anchor like Bai Yue can still maintain a complete body after 2 or 3 years of debut. This is a windfall. Wei Xiao chuckled lightly. No hurry, you will be mine sooner or later, go to sleep. Seeing Wei Xiao holding herself without any movement, Bai Yue, who was originally extremely nervous, calmed down. Lie down in a comfortable position in Wei Xiao's arms, and slowly closed his eyes. One night passed. Song Xiaoyu, who woke up the next day, naturally knew Bai Yue's choice. No irony, no look down or rejection. In fact, Song Xiaoyu is more mature than Bai Yue. She is very clear that Bai Yue's choice is the most correct right now. It's a pity that she couldn't pass the hurdle in her heart, plus what Wei Xiao said when she met them for the first time, so that the current Song Xiaoyu had no ideas. It is impossible to say that there is no jealousy, but Wei Xiao looks down on her, and she can't help it. With the arrival of a new day, Wei Xiao left the room again. Compared to yesterday, when he went out today, someone personally delivered him to the door. Brother Xiao, pay attention to safety, we will wait for you to come back. Confirming the relationship, Bai Yue bid farewell to Wei Xiao like a gentle wife. Wei Xiao, who had never felt this way before, enjoyed it very much. After kissing Bai Yue's ruddy mouth, Wei Xiao nodded and left. Yue, have you confirmed? After Wei Xiao left, Song Xiaoyu couldn't help but ask. Bai Yue closed the door and turned around. Xiaoyu, don't you look down on me. Bai Yue hesitated, lowering her head slightly. Song Xiaoyu smiled and said, how come? Your choice is correct. He is very strong. Having such a strong man protects you will make you better survive in the last days. Bai Yue seemed very happy with the support of her good girlfriends. Trot over to hold Song Xiaoyu. Xiaoyu, if you like it, I can divide him into half. Don't be kidding, the first time I met, I was completely dead. But you, congratulations, the wish that was not fulfilled before the end of the world, now I finally don't have to be a single dog anymore. You know to make fun of me. Why, as long as you sprinkle dog food, you are not allowed to eat a few words. So you Song Xiaoyu, I played with you today. The battle is on the verge, and the scene is fragrant outside. Wei Xiao's battle for a new day began, and the nightmare that belonged to the other survivors in the hotel also unfolded from this. In the next few days, Wei Xiao practiced with zombies in the hotel. Before he knew it, the number of zombies he had eliminated had reached 5 or 6,000. If someone notices it, they will find that with the hotel as the center, there are not as many zombies within a few hundred meters as before the end of the world. Except for a few zombies occasionally during the day, at night, the streets are extremely quiet. If you don't look carefully, some people will suspect that there are no zombies outside. Constant fighting made Wei Xiao use his power more and more freely. At the same time, he had not learned any fighting skills systematically, and in the past few days, he developed a fighting style that suits him. The strength is increasing, and Wei Xiao's aura is becoming more and more obvious. It is a kind of powerful self-confidence that is undaunted by all forces. Even though he was a handsome man, he is even more eye-catching now. Because of his change, Song Xiao, who was familiar with Wei Xiao's character, called Bai Yawei to find the treasure. Not to mention Bai Yawei, as long as Wei Xiao was by her side, her gaze never left her patron saint. Song Xiao was jealous of Wei Xiao's sticking method. 7 days later. After a few days of calm, the outside of the hotel is finally no longer quiet. Those survivors hiding in every corner can't hold on. Suddenly when the end of the world comes, I believe that not many people will keep enough food at home. 7 days is enough for some hungry people with their chests on their backs to venture out to find food for food. It's dangerous outside. I'm so lucky to meet Brother Xiao now. If we didn't meet Brother Xiao, we're afraid we will be the same as those who are robbing food and being chased by zombies now. If I hadn't met Brother Xiao, I wouldn't dare to go out even if I starved to death. Standing on the balcony, Bai Yawei and the others looked at the people chased by zombies in the street looking for food, with lingering fears. The cruelty of the last days refreshed their perceptions again. Witnessing those survivors who were rushed and eaten by zombies when they went out to find food, their bodies couldn't help trembling even if they were some distance away from the scene. The horror of the end times is far simpler than they thought. Wei Xiao, who was eating, put down the noodles he had eaten. This was the 7th bucket of instant noodles he had eaten. I don't know if it is because of the increase in power. Wei Xiao, who was able to eat 2 buckets of noodles before, has now increased his appetite to 7 buckets. Even so, Wei Xiao felt that his meaning was still unfinished. Wiping his mouth, Wei Xiao said, although it is cruel now, as long as you are bold enough, you are willing to take the first step. Once you can survive the early stage of the end of the world, you will be strong in the future. The second daughter no longer looked at what happened outside. Come to Wei Xiao's side. Brother Xiao, you have been going out to kill zombies these days, are they good? Wei Xiao said seriously, in fact, zombies are not as terrible as you think. Apart from their ability to maintain the speed of normal people running at full speed, their strength and response are not as good as humans. The most important thing is that their skulls are very fragile and their weaknesses are there. As long as you aim at the zombie's head, an attack of 40 or 50 caddies can kill them. Real. Yet. Okay, I'm going out a far door today, maybe I won't come back tomorrow. You stay at home, no matter who knocks on the door, don't respond, wait for me to come back. You want to leave? The second girl's heart tightened, and Bai Yawei even hugged Wei Xiao's arm. You should have also noticed that my appetite is getting bigger and bigger. Just eating instant noodles can't provide me with enough energy. I need to find some foods with high protein content. And you don't feel that eating instant noodles all day is greasy. Yet. There is a supermarket outside the hotel. Does it take a day? Song Xiao said. Wei Xiao shook his head. In addition to looking for food, I have to find another place to stay. This is not suitable for us to live in for a long time. When we decide on a new place, we will move. Brother Xiao, can you not go? Obey. Wei Xiao frowned slightly. Bai Yawei suddenly didn't dare to say more. After a few days of getting along, she already had a certain understanding of Wei Xiao. Whenever Wei Xiao looks serious, it's best not to bargain with him. Then they confessed a few more words, and finally kissed by Yahweh. Wei Xiao put on a mountaineering bag, took the modeo on his back, and left under by Yahweh's reluctant gaze. The destination of Wei Xiao's trip was Haidian district of Minghai City. It is not the city center, but it is one of the most lively and representative areas in Minghai City. Commercial streets, luxury villas, and various colleges are located in that area. Especially the villa group, far away from the busy city, independent of the outside, not to mention, all kinds of infrastructure are not comparable to other housing. The most representative Haidian garden. There are only 12 villas inside, and the price of each villa before the end of the world can be said to be sky high. Needless to say, it's luxury. The most important thing is safety. The outer fence is 5 meters high and 1 meter thick. There is a monitoring system every 5 meters on the fence to ensure the safety of the villa's periphery in all aspects. The security forces are also extremely strong. The security guards responsible for the safety of the entire villa group are all veterans who have seen blood, the number exceeds 3 digits, and they are equipped with certain thermal weapons. In addition, independent power supply and water supply emergency equipment are installed in the villa area. It can be said that even if there is a power outage outside, the interior of Haidian Garden can still be self-sufficient. Someone once predicted that even if the world goes into a state of water and power outages, Haidian Garden can last for 10 years with these expensive equipment. This is the place Wei Xiao intends to find. Although it is tens of kilometers away from the hotel where he was before, as long as he controls this place, he will not need to worry about water and electricity in the next 10 years. The most important point is that it can effectively defend against the attacks of zombies. In the future, if he had enough manpower, it would not even be a dream to build Haidian Garden into a base fortress. It is no longer a day or two to be greedy at Haidian Garden. There was no chance before, and he could still dream about it in dreams. Now, when the gauge of an opportunity is in front of him, how can he let it go? On the way here, Wei Xiao had already thought about it. He must get this place, even if there is already a master inside. Turning around all the way, at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Wei Xiao came to a dark corner at the entrance of the front door of Haidian Garden. Looking at the nearly 2-story wall, even if he knew that this place was about to belong to him, Wei Xiao still couldn't bear the excitement in his heart. In the entire Pearl City, I am afraid that there is no place more suitable for living in the end times than here. Looking away from the fence, Wei Xiao began to look at the surrounding environment. As the residence of the rich, there are not many zombies in this area. Only a few zombies were scattered around the entrance. They were wearing uniforms with walkie-talkies and batons tied around their waists. At first glance, they knew that the security guards here had become. As for why no thermal weapons were found on them. Do not make jokes. Although they are allowed to carry guns, they are managed in a unified manner in non-emergency situations. It's not that there is a major incident, or to protect someone from going out, they may not use it for a lifetime, let alone carry it with them all the time. Wei Xiao didn't intend to alarm the surrounding zombies. He picked up the prepared turning head from the ground, hid in the dark and threw it directly at one of the zombies. Pouch with a sound. Wei Xiao's strength is so great, when the brick touches the zombie's head immediately explodes like a watermelon. The sound attracted the attention of several other zombies, but unfortunately, except for a headless zombie on the ground, no other zombies who were living were found and ignored it. Wei Xiao concocted like this. While moving in secret, tiles were thrown out. Soon, the surrounding zombies were cleaned up by him. Now Wei Xiao wants to find a way to get in. The doors of the villas are closed. The big iron gate, a few points higher than the fence, was a challenge for him. As for the surrounding wall, the height is not a problem for Wei Xiao, the key is the power grid above. Wei Xiao would not naively think that those power grids are not powered. Besides, everything in it will become his private property. If it is destroyed, it will be him who feels distressed. It must not be demolished violently like in a hotel. It seems that this can only be done. Only a few bangs were heard outside, and when we looked at Wei Xiao again, his figure had already turned over the big iron gate and entered the villa. In the past few days, Wei Xiao hadn't paid much attention, until today, on the way to Hadian Garden, he found that not only his strength was getting stronger, but his speed had also improved a lot. If it takes 10 seconds for him to sprint 100 meters before the end of the world, then he is absolutely sure to reduce the time to less than 7 seconds, which is even more flying than a flying man. The figure entered the villa area, and Wei Xiao, who was ready for battle, directly drew the mo knife out of the scabbard. If there are zombies inside, the noise he made when entering the inside with the help of the big iron gate is enough to alarm them. But Wei Xiao was very disappointed, not seeing any zombies inside. This is not a good thing. There are no zombies in the wall, which does not mean that no one has become a zombie. Apocalyptic corpse is not targeted. It doesn't exist that you can escape when you are young or if you have strong resistance. Its outbreak is completely random. Wei Xiao didn't believe that no one had changed. Now that the zombies that can be seen everywhere are completely without a trace, there is only one possibility. It has been occupied by people, and the zombies inside have been cleaned up by the forces here. Does the dove occupy the magpie's nest? Wei Xiao had long regarded Hadian Garden as his own private property. He had never thought that for the survivors who had already lived here, he was the one who was going to occupy the magpie's nest. In any case, the current Wei Xiao is undoubtedly highly vigilant. People are sometimes the most dangerous compared to zombies that have a tendon and don't know how to change. Wei Xiao shook the mo dao tightly and walked inward cautiously. Inside a villa. Interesting. It's not easy for this person to come in without the help of any tools. Brother Yi, do you want to notify Brother Long? Wu Yi, who was staring at Wei Xiao's figure in the surveillance, heard the little brother's question, thought about it, and finally nodded. You are watching here, I will notify the boss. Brother Yi, don't worry, and make sure he can't run. Wu Yi left the monitoring room and directly got on a sports car and drove towards Villa 1. Villa number 1 is the largest and most luxurious villa in it. Before the end of the world, the man who owned it was the richest man in Pearl City, but now he has changed hands. The man who occupied it was called the Raptor. Before the end of the world, he was the boss of a loan sharking gang, and he had a group of younger brothers. When the end of the world broke out, he happened to come here with a group of younger brothers to meet a rich second generation, ready to help someone who snatched this rich second generation toy. What Cheng thinks will catch up with the end of the world. Fortunately, he and some of the little brothers he brought with him did not become zombies. Similarly, the rich second generation who asked him for help also escaped. For his own safety, the rich second generation asked the Raptor Dragon to protect him back to Hadian Garden on the spot. The Sword Dragon, who knew the defensive power of Hadian Garden, directly agreed, but the condition was that he and his little brother also entered Hadian Garden to avoid the zombies. The two hit it off, and after losing a few people, they safely entered Hadian Garden. It's just that the rich second generation didn't expect that his move was completely to lead the wolf into the house. When the Sword Dragon saw the same corpse change in the Hadian Garden, it temporarily became malicious. While the security guards who had no corpses inside dealt with the zombies, they followed one of the security guards to find a place to store weapons. After paying the price of one death to kill the security guard, he armed all the remaining 6 little brothers. When a group of wicked people possess weapons, the consequences can be imagined. Both zombies and survivors in Hadian Garden were cleaned by raptors. A battle without suspense, except for the women who survived the cataclysm. All men were killed by the Sword Dragon. From that moment, the Sword Dragon also became the master of this place. Wu Yi drove to Villa number 1 and entered the villa directly after getting off the car. Inside the villa, the lavish sound is endless. A few shameless gangsters are doing things that are not suitable for children in the villa hall. Brother Yi. When Wu Yi came in, the two younger brothers who were busy greeted one after another. Where is Long brother? Above, he. Brother Long is now a dragon and 3 phoenixes. Would you like Brother Yi to also come and play? Wu Yi was a little changed, but because he still had something to find Sword Dragon, he temporarily dismissed his thoughts. I'm going to find Brother Long, you guys have a good time. Okay. In the master bedroom on the 2nd floor, Wu Yi came here looking for a sound. The Sword Dragon, with its big belly and busy hands, saw Wu Yi's figure and smiled evilly. Yi, do you want a shot? The 3 women accompanying the raptor are all pretty. Wu Yi has this heart, but he hasn't forgotten what is going on. Brother Long, play again later. An uninvited guest has arrived at the villa. I think it is necessary to inform you. The raptor didn't care. Come here, do you want me to meet him personally? Wu Yi seemed to guess that raptor would answer him like this, and smiled bitterly. If it's an ordinary person, I won't come here in person. Forget it, you should watch Brother Long. Then, Wu Yi took out his walkie-talkie and contacted the younger brother in the monitoring room. Turn the screen to Brother Long. Come here. After giving the order, Wu Yi said, Brother Long, you still have to take a look. Maid, it's really disappointing. He'd better pray that he is a peerless beauty, otherwise, I will throw him away to feed the zombies. Raptor was extremely unhappy and pushed the woman beside him directly to a crystal table. Open the laptop placed on it before. Every moment, the computer is turned on and the screen of the monitoring room is connected to the computer. Wei Xiao's figure appeared in the sight of Sword Dragon at this time. Man! Raptor was a little warm and angry. Brother Long, this guy is not an ordinary person, you can play back and see the previous scene. The Sword Dragon was suspicious, but still brought out the video of Wei Xiao outside the wall. The zombies are handled with slabs, and the iron gate is nearly 6 meters high without the help of any tools. This guy. Raptor's face was extremely surprised. Even if the Sword Dragon was just an ordinary person, after seeing Wei Xiao's actions, he knew that Wei Xiao was not easy to provoke. Brother Long, this is no ordinary person, how should we deal with it? Wu Yi asked seriously. The raptor diverted his attention. Without thinking, he gritted his teeth and said, never stay. Brother Long is the same as I thought. Such a person is definitely not something we can contact. The best way to deal with it is to kill him directly when he doesn't find us. I will leave this to you. Bring all the brothers with you, and make sure you are safe. Don't worry Long brother, no matter how powerful he is, can he still avoid bullets? Sword Dragon believed in Wu Yi, and left the matter of Wei Xiao to him. After Wu Yi left, Raptor's attention was all on Wei Xiao's body in the video. This place is really delicious, but it belongs to me now. Outside the villa, although Wei Xiao was sure that there was a master in it, he didn't know that because of his appearance, a guy who was extremely unconfident in himself had already murdered him. The last days are the world where people cannibalize people. The wisest choice is to get rid of someone you don't think you can control. As for trying to conquer such a person with your own charm, don't be kidding. There is no absolute strength and control. Accepting a person who is stronger than you and knows nothing about your character is undoubtedly self-defeating. The rich second generation who brought them into this place is a lesson from the past. The raptors will not let this happen to them. At this time, Wei Xiao was already close to a villa. But just as he was about to approach quickly, a strong crisis hit head-on. This is the advance prediction of danger after being strong. Wei Xiao hardly hesitated, and flew sideways towards a trash can not far away. Boom boom! As soon as he dodged, there was a burst of gunfire in his ear. A lot of rubble and mud were splashed in the place where he was before. Damn, he hit all of this. Aq and Awen, you walk around from both sides, and the others continue to suppress me with firepower, don't let him run. Wu Yi didn't expect Wei Xiao to predict the danger in advance. Feeling that his opponent was even more terrifying, he cooperated with the two younger brothers who were leaning toward both sides of the trash can, and the other three continued to shoot at the place where Wei Xiao was hiding. Wei Xiao couldn't move his figure, what's more, there was no hiding place besides this trash can. Facing the opponent's firepower, he couldn't move at all. The huge crisis was approaching step by step, and Wei Xiao, who was already sweating on his forehead, trembled with the Mo Dao in his hand. Not successful. He didn't expect the mob inside to be so brutal. Perhaps it was because Wei Xiao's life was too easy after the eruption of the end times. Before he knew it, he had forgotten the cruelty of the end times. Damn it! I knew the people here were so frantic with outsiders, I should do it again at night. There is regret, but now he has no extra choice. I wanted to probe out and look at the enemy in front of the trash can, but as soon as he appeared, a few bullets landed not far from his head. Wei Xiao, who was almost not headshot, hurriedly shrank back. Do you want to die here today? Very unwilling. Wei Xiao is definitely not a person who is waiting to die. Unable to probe the situation behind the trash can, Wei Xiao, who was about to get out of the way, accidentally saw the figure reflected on the blade of Mo Dao. With this discovery, Wei Xiao's anxious eyes clearly brightened. The enemies outside did not know Wei Xiao's plan. Passing the blade of Mo Dao from side to side, Wei Xiao could determine the enemy approaching him from both sides through the smooth blade. Withdrawing Mo Dao, Wei Xiao took a deep breath and gritted his teeth. Fight! Wei Xiao violently, his figure suddenly leaped out from behind the trash can. Hurry up and beat him to death, Wu Yi roared.